I was talking to my therapist one time, and she said something that shocked me and totally changed my mindset. I was talking to her about someone that had done something really bad to me, and I said, "What kind of person would do that?" And she says, "What kind of person would do that?" And I was like, "Excuse me?" I was like, "A horrible person." And she says, hold on, I have it written down. She said, "Do you think that the experiences they have been presented gave them the ability to think the way that you do, love the way that you do, and have the strength that you do? Or do you think that they're not capable of that right now?" Think about that. Watch that again.
If anybody ever starts a sentence with, "I was talking to my therapist," don't walk, run in the other direction as fast as you can away from that person, because chances are that person has got some emotional issues, some mental issues that they need to work out, and will definitely need more than a therapist, okay? And before we jump into her little rant here, let me tell you about my problem with therapists, just in my own experience, because I do so much pickup and I've dated hundreds of beautiful women. Every single chick that, I mean, even beyond the girls that I've dated, just women that I've known socially, that I've met socially, right, including the ones I gamed, every single one of them that had a therapist, which was really only a handful of them, because I'm pretty good at screening at this point, but a handful of them had a therapist. They never came back a better person. Okay, they never came back a more socially aware person. Okay, they never came back with more self-awareness. Instead, they came back more self-absorbed, more narcissistic, more self-centered, and really just not a good person to be around, because now they had like all of this enabling, kind of like giving them permission to just be rude to everyone, right? That's just been my experience dealing with people who, well, at least females, who have gotten themselves a therapist. So this chick, and this is getting scary, guys, because this chick is probably about 18 years old. She is very young, okay? Doesn't have a whole lot of life experience yet. Hasn't been out there, you know, like many of us who are in our 30s and 40s now, like having our faces like pushed into the sand, you know, just by reality, and just having to fight through those obstacles of life, those challenges, to work on ourselves, to become better people. No, this chick is probably still living at home with mommy and daddy. Probably still doesn't have to pay for anything yet. Her dad might be paying her car note, might be paying her rent, right? She probably is living like rent-free right now. Parents are paying for college and school. Yet, she has so many problems that she needs a therapist at this point. Imagine, even just a few years from now, how she's going to be doing. Would you want to be the guy that deals with that? I wouldn't. Okay, I wouldn't. And this is how young girls end up becoming the DG so early on, because a lot of you guys are like, man, so after a girl hits 30, she's still single, she's DG, right? And I'm like, yeah. Like, okay, I just won't date girls over 30. I'm like, yes. However, thanks to feminism, right? Thanks to all that and all the indoctrination we have going on out there in the world, a lot of these girls have been brainwashed to believe in a certain narrative, and to believe that they're owed certain things in life, right? That I just deserve this. How many times do you hear a girl say that? I deserve to be treated like this. I deserve this kind of man. I deserve this kind of life. Yet they're not ever talking about what they're going to bring to the table, what they're going to contribute, are they? They're not ever talking about what they're going to do for you, or what they're going to do to get this done. No, it should just be given to me. You know, and the more they start to realize that that's not how the world works, right? I mean, the world actually requires you to put in some effort, right? To grow, to expand, to overcome obstacles, to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. I mean, it requires that to become successful at anything, even to get just even a little bit of success. But these girls are being taught like, nope, it will just be given to you because you're special, because you're you. It's part of that participation trophy generation, self-esteem movement that's been going on with young kids for the last 25 or so years now. Anyway, sorry about shaking the camera there. Trying to hold it steady for you. But regardless, this girl's very young and she's already seeing a therapist. What does that tell you, man? Okay, because usually when I do these kind of vids, it's usually women who are already over 30, right? They're still single, they're alone, and now they're starting to get a little worried. They're never going to find their forever man. They're never going to find, their long-term partner out there, their future husband, and they're starting to get, they're starting to panic. They're losing their looks, and they have all this emotional baggage from riding the CC, so they got to get themselves a carousel. And, just so many years of being out there and having their face pushed in the sand, like all of us. Okay, like all of us. I really believe men handle it better. I mean, I don't know a single guy in my social circle who has a therapist. It's usually female, right? It's usually female, just based on my own experience. However, this girl is literally fresh out of high school. And here she is, going to see a therapist to talk about this person who is doing her wrong. So let's jump into that. Okay, so she is talking about, and this is my big pet peeve with therapists, by the way. So she's talking about how, so there's this person in my life, probably a dude, who's doing her wrong. Person did me dirty, and what kind of person would do that? So she asked the therapist, what kind of person would do that? And the therapist replied to her, what kind of person would do that? And she's like, excuse me? Like she was about to hit some epiphany. Excuse me? Oh my goodness, a terrible person. And then her therapist just sits back collecting that sweet paycheck. You just answered your own question, young lady. And she's like, oh my goodness, this is working. Therapy, ooh, it's working. And all this other stuff. And it's like, these therapists, they really just send their clients into one big circle jerk. They never solve the problem. They just send them into this narcissistic circle jerk where they relieve them of any accountability whatsoever for what brought them to the situation they're in, to where they need the therapist, right? And it's usually because they're with some dude who screwed them over. They're with some guy who's not, obeying their commands, and they want to talk to a therapist about it because because really the therapist is going to tell them what they want to hear. They don't tell them what they need to hear. Right? Because truthfully, if this therapist wanted to be honest, it's probably a she, right? Overwhelmingly, most therapists are female. So this therapist would say, okay, instead of me removing accountability from you and going, yeah, what kind of person would do that? I would literally tell a girl well, have you ever heard the term like attracts like? Birds of a feather flock together. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. Ever hear those terms? Ever hear those expressions? They're true. Okay, they're true. You attract who you are. You attract what you are. So if this chick is talking about this bad person in her life, you know why she has this bad person in her life? Probably because she's bad. She's that way too. That's how you attract those people in your life. Bad people don't attract good people in their lives. Good people don't attract bad people in their lives. And if they do by accident, they don't stay there for very long. Because once the person finds out you're bad, you're done. Out of there. Okay? Take myself. Using myself as an example. Back in the 90s, back in my day when I was getting in a lot of trouble and I was doing a lot of stuff I probably shouldn't have been doing, my social circle was very different. And it was filled with a lot of dudes that I would not consider good dudes. Okay? But they were my posse. They were in my social circle. Did I go to a therapist and go, excuse me, Mr. Therapist, Can you tell me why these bad guys are in my life? Why are these bad dudes in my life? It's their fault, right? Please tell me it's their fault and I'm not doing anything wrong, that I'm a good person. Please tell me I'm a good person, that they're at fault. No, I didn't do that because I knew I was the problem. I'm like, I'm bad. That's why I'm attracting these jackasses. Fast forward to today. I'm a successful entrepreneur, right? Over here at the top of Vegas, I get to get the nicest views even at the busiest time like it is right now. It's really busy right now. And I was able to get this view last minute because I've got diamond status here. True story, right? But I've got good status here. So I'm doing successful these days, right? And my social circle now is nothing like it was back in the 90s when I was getting in all that trouble. Okay? My social circle now is full of other high-value dudes, successful entrepreneurs, business owners, doctors, lawyers. Thanks to my channel, I attract a lot of high-value dudes because of my content. They watch me. I have a few professional athletes who watch me, professional NFL players, Major League Baseball players. I don't think I have any basketball players yet that I know of, but I've got high-value dudes, right? High-value dudes who are, doing well in life. They want to socialize with me, and I want to socialize with them. Do I want to socialize with my old social circle from the 90s? Absolutely not, man. Those dudes are still getting in trouble. That fire truck is happening out here. There are so many fire trucks in Vegas. I don't know if there's like a 24/7 arsonist out here or what, but there's constantly some like fire engine going by. It's like really ridiculous. But in any case, I have a different social circle now. You know how I did that? Because I kept getting in trouble and I got tired of it. And you know what? I never blamed anybody else. I always blamed myself, right? That was one good trait that I had. I always looked to myself to fix things. And I didn't look at like, oh, it's my buddy's fault that we're friends. He's causing me to do bad because he's a bad guy. No, I'm like, hey, I'm the one who's choosing to be friends with him and hang out with him. I don't have to do that anymore. So you know what I did? I stopped hanging out with those guys. I stopped. And I started changing my life around. Right? But these therapists, it just drives me nuts how they just, are there for the most part to just collect those sweet dollars from those clients. Just keep them coming back because you keep telling them what they want to hear. They keep coming back. Right? You don't tell them what they need to hear. Like this girl. She's not going to fix herself. Especially these females who go to these therapists. I mean, I kid you not. If you know any females who've gone to therapy, tell me now if they are better or worse than they were before they got in therapy. Okay, again, X from 2006. I love to, I hate to have to bring her up, but she just hit all of these bullet points to the T. Because towards the end of our relationship, instead of blaming herself or at least taking some responsibility for the downfall of our relationship, what did she do? For the first time in her life, at the advice of her dumb auntie, she went to go see a therapist. And when she got out of that therapy session, instead of before she went in, she was at least being a little reasonable. By the time she got out of that, probably like 1 or 2 sessions, she was just a completely different person, full of like boundaries. Don't do this. Don't say this around me. Don't, ridiculous boundaries, which a lot of these girls who come out of therapy sessions have. Like their therapists are mostly females, and they encourage them to develop like all these unrealistic boundaries that nobody can follow. And it's like, dude, you have to exercise a little common sense here. You're not the Queen of England, right? You're just a regular person. Okay, you can't expect people to adhere to you just because you're you. So these therapists they really like blow sunshine up your ass to make you to believe that, you're this bulletproof, invincible, like superhero in the world, when it's like, no, you're just you, okay? And until you prove you're more than that, you're really just you, And classic example, like my ex, she was like, at the time, she began cheating on me with this other dude that she ended up dumping me for. And then obviously she tried to come back. You know this story. She tried to come back and I never took her back. And she stalked me for 3 years after that. But either way, she had already gone off with this dude and she was trying to come back and she went to go see their therapist. And instead of the therapist going, you know what, maybe you shouldn't have rebounded. Maybe that's not a good idea. maybe that could be hurtful to this guy that you're with. No, instead, the therapist said, you know what? I don't want you to feel any guilt. Literally told her, don't feel any guilt whatsoever. We all make mistakes. Don't feel any guilt. And I want you to go even a step further. I want you to get a composite notebook. So she buys this composite notebook. And in this notebook, I want you to write 25 times per day for the next 7 days, 25 times. I am a good person. I am a good person. I am a good person. So this chick was writing, I am a good person 25 times for the next like 7 days or however long it was. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. You are not a good person. I'm like, you're a cheater. You are a deserter. I'm like, you're a monkey brancher. Right? And I'm like, how are you a good person? And she's like, well, my therapist, she rules. And she told me this. I go, yeah, I bet she rules, motherfucker. I'm like, she's telling you exactly what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. So I cannot stand these therapists, guys. Like, they are never honest with these chicks. And so whenever I'm talking to a chick, whether I'm gaming her or I meet her socially, and she tells me I have a therapist, usually they're gonna keep that secret from you. But if that comes out at any point in my relations with her, the relationship is done. Nah, man, you and your therapist, you go have fun. I don't need you in my life, because you're just telling me that you got mental issues, and that's not something I need to deal with, not something I want to deal with, right? Because there are a lot of other people out there who don't turn to a therapist and just are adults, and they'll work through it. They'll become better people, and they'll overcome those obstacles, and they'll become stronger, right? And they won't be so cowardly, and I use that word lightly. They won't become so cowardly that they will actually pay a licensed professional, a therapist, to tell them what they want to hear, to relieve them of any responsibility, accountability, or guilt for that matter, for their own participation in this negative situation in their lives. Right? So, always a red flag, guys. If a girl ever tells you, I've got a therapist, or even worse, I'm seeing a psychologist, and you find out, like, you happen to be in her bathroom and you see her medicine cabinet, and she's got like all of the antidepressant pills locked, loaded, ready to go. Don't walk, run. Okay? Run. As always, guys, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video. Share any stories you would like to share below with the tribe. If you've ever dated a girl who's seeing a therapist or a psychologist, let me know below in the comments. What was that chick like? Was she giving? Was she nurturing? Was she submissive? Or was she just intolerable to be around? Just a complete pain in the neck. Drop your comments below, and love to see you in my comments, and I love to read your comments, so drop them below. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets, signing out here from top of Vegas. As always, guys, make sure to destroy that like button below. Just destroy it for me right now. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you are notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a ton when you actually subscribe to my channel. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. And for all you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content that I am teaching you even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I am teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the absolute youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, the same exact type of women that myself and all of my coaching students all around the world now are approaching and closing every single week. I kid you not, we're making it happen every single week, no matter what type of craziness is going on in the world, what type of new variant of maroni's going on in the world, no matter what type of divisiveness is going on in the world, we are still living our lives and continuing to go out there and make things happen and crush it. And I want you to join us. I want you to become one of us. And it's real easy to get signed up. This is the absolute best way to support my work. All you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds, so do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video. I'm out. All right, just want to share this shot with you guys from my hotel room here. As you can see, we've got the Eiffel Tower right behind me, and it is all lit up. There's actually a restaurant inside the Eiffel Tower, as well as a viewing deck all the way up at the top. So if you ever come to Vegas, make sure you check that out. And then we've got the Paris Hotel right over there. Got Planet Hollywood right there. Got the Cosmo right behind the Eiffel Tower, as well as the Bellagio. And the fountains were on earlier, but right now the fountains are not on because it's pretty late out here, and just out here banging out some coaching videos for you guys. So until next time.